YouTube, hey there, it's Casey Dimon, TaxSaleAcademy.com. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm just about to record an episode for the Tax Sale Podcast. If you enjoy podcasts, check us out. There's a link down below. It'll take you to TaxSalePodcast.com where you can download us on your favorite podcasting platform and you can take us on the go. But if YouTube is more of your style, that's fine with me. Just do me a favor and click that thumbs up button and subscribe to our channel just to let me know. Let's go ahead and switch on over and record that audio portion right now. Welcome to the Tax Sale Podcast, where tax sale investing is made easy. My name is Casey Dimon. I'm a tax sale veteran, expert, and trainer. I'm the author of the Tax Sale Playbook, founder of the Tax Sale Academy, and I am your host right here on the Tax Sale Podcast. Thank you so much for joining me on today's podcast. And as always, at the conclusion of this podcast, if you are looking to learn more about investing in tax-defaulted real estate, just head on over to TaxSaleAcademy.com. That's TaxSaleAcademy.com. So today, I've got a program in store that truthfully, I'm a little bit hesitant to produce. I really want to lay out the 3 key steps into getting into the tax sale investment business in as easy of a manner as possible. I want to provide you with the 3 easiest steps to get started. I want to provide you those steps that will take you to tax sale success as easy as possible. But before I discuss more on this topic, I think it's extremely important to first discuss the vantage point that I have. Tax sale investing requires a certain level of dedication, commitment, and effort. That's the reason that I have an entire academy on this topic, right? That's why I have more than 600 videos on YouTube about tax sale investing. It takes effort, dedication, commitment to learn what is required. There's a lot to this business, and well, there's a lot to any business that's capable of the financial and sustainable long-term results that tax sale investing can provide for you. So, I want to show you the easiest path to tax sale success today. But as discussed, it doesn't necessarily mean it's easy, but it's easy relative to the other methods that many people take. And we're going to do it in 3 simple steps. The first one, as usual, is to learn what you're doing. This is the first step, the most important step, and the step that will determine whether you succeed or fail. This is a requirement. This is a prerequisite to tax sale success. And there are so many different ways to learn, of course. Personally, I did it the old-fashioned way. I'd fail once, maybe twice at one aspect, and then I realized don't want to do that anymore and not do it again. Perhaps it was the time that I almost got arrested, or when I bought a house that had been demolished the previous week, or about 8,000 other mistakes that I made. Made the mistake, lost the money, dealt with the stress, learned from it, and tried not to do it again. It's like the kid that learns that fire is hot by touching it and burning themselves. It's not a fun way to learn, but it is one way to learn. The other way is to find a mentor. Get somebody who is local to train you. Let me train you through the Tax Sale Academy. Learn from somebody who's already made all those mistakes so you can learn the proper way. Avoid the mistakes, reduce the learning curve, and see success much, much faster. Now, I've got videos and podcasts on the proper ways to learn, so I won't go into much further detail about it, but those are the 2 primary ways to learn. Now, on this same topic, the word learn has different meanings to different people. Learn about this business, to me, means that you should learn everything possible about this business. Not just one little section or just enough pieces that could get you into trouble. I'll get emails from new investors who only understand one little piece of the puzzle, and this is very, very scary to me. It's a very common approach that so many people have to many different things nowadays. They take 1 or 2 bits of information and they just dive into it. They have zero preparation at all. It's a classic example of ready, fire, aim. People will tell me that they bought a tax lien, but they aren't sure what to do now. They probably should have thought about that before they bought that tax lien. Or they'll ask for help doing their research by telling me they reviewed the property assessor's report and asked, is that good enough? It's a good enough place to start, but it isn't a good enough place to go out and start buying properties. A lot of new investors will tell me about a city that they're visiting, a hotel that they're staying at, or a restaurant that they want to try out. They'll learn more about that stuff than they'll learn about tax sale investing. If you truly want to set yourself up for success, you'll need to learn everything possible about this business. And when we look at the easiest route for success, this is it. This is the golden nugget. This is the golden ticket. If you want difficulties, if you don't want to take the easy route, then skip this step. If you want to struggle, if you want to have stress or to make mistakes, skip this step. If you want your journey to tax sale success to be the equivalent of driving down a bumpy, muddy, narrow, dead-end road, then go ahead and skip this whole learning thing, right? But if you want it to be the equivalent of driving down a wide, freshly paved road, make sure you learn. That's by far number one. That's the top thing when it comes to taking the easiest road possible to tax sale success. Now, maybe this isn't what you wanted to hear, but it is the truth. All right, number two, slightly more tactical now. Take a look at the lower priced properties. And this actually might go against conventional wisdom. And yes, I know that I have episodes that warn you to not only focus on cheap properties, but it's important to understand the context of those episodes. The easiest road to tax sale success is not by buying the single family home with that cute little white picket fence that needs new flooring and paint and will be ready for resale next week, right? Sure, that's nice, but let's be real here. That's what every single investor wants. That's what your competition wants. And some of that competition can afford much, much smaller margins than you probably can. So what I highly suggest you do is go after the small stuff, initially at least. I'm talking about the vacant lots, the small homes that nobody else wants, the stuff that is exactly what other people will look away from, the stuff that does not attract all of the attention. Not only will it allow you to get into the action with much less competition, but you'll be able to do it with much less money tied up, and you could potentially even buy multiple properties so that you're able to hedge all of your investments. There are a number of different ways you can do this. One is to simply attend tax sales while you're learning about the business and take note of all the properties that are selling at lower prices. What are they selling for? What's the competition like on those cheap properties? What areas or subdivisions are they in? Answer all these questions for yourself. Another way is to take a look at the over-the-counter or the OTC list. And this is a specialized strategy. I actually have a 5-module masterclass at otcclass.com where I teach specifically about investing in OTC properties. But in short, if you're able to look at that list of OTC properties, take their prices, figure out which one fits your investment objectives, and then choose the best ones. And once you've either reviewed the OTC list or you have your notes from a previous auction, it's time to sit down and determine how much you can make off those properties and the selling approaches that you'll be using to realize those returns. Essentially, you'll be pre-planning your investment. Those 3 little words, pre-planning your investment, can certainly be much more difficult than it sounds, but it's so important. At this point, it's just a matter of connecting the dots. You know what's available, you know the general prices, you know the areas, then develop that selling strategy. Develop that expectation of all the expenses involved, a gross selling price. And now it's just a matter of determining if it works for you. If it doesn't, find another approach, find another property, a different area, whatever it is, until you do find an approach that works for you. When you're pre-planning your investments, here's something that I've discussed many times before, and I strongly believe in. Speed wins every single time. Use the approach that will produce a decent return in the fastest amount of time humanly possible. Speed. Get in, get out, move on to that next properties. So you have the strategy. Now it's time to swoop in and buy those properties. That's step number 2. Number 3, this is the one that really ties it all together. It's time to execute and expand. After you've purchased the property, execute your selling strategies. Now, if you strategize correctly, guess what? This is going to be extremely easy for you, 100% easy. Turning that property into money is the easy part if you strategize correctly in the first place. Everyone always wants to talk about how to sell, how to advertise, how to market a property, all that kind of stuff. And obviously, it's important. But now, after you purchase that property, now is not the time to start thinking about all that stuff. The time to think about your exit is purchase. So what happens is that once you've purchased that property and when you go to sell it, that's going to be the time where you're going to quickly figure out if you pre-planned that purchase correctly. If you did it correctly, it's easy. If not, it's not going to be. So execute that strategy. Sell the property, grab those funds, and do it all over again. Maybe it's the second round of investments for you, or the third round, or whatever, but eventually your goal should be to expand. Buy 2 properties using that same exact strategy. You know what works, so why change it right now, right? Then keep going and keep growing it until you can buy 3 properties using that same exact strategy. And then after that, if you want to adjust your strategies just a little bit, feel free to do so, but be cautious and do so only when you can play with, end quote, the house's money or the actual profit that you walked away with in previous deals. Tax sale investing is a very simple, very easy game once you know all the rules and how to strategize properly. It always starts, though, with learning what you're doing. Always. Learn what you're doing, then find a low dollar, no competition property that you can resell quickly and make a few bucks on. Execute that plan, reinvest, and do it all over again until you can finally expand into more expensive properties or different property types. I've got an incredible amount of resources available for you if you'd like to learn these steps in much greater detail. There are a whole bunch of links down below in the show notes, or just go to Google or your favorite podcasting platform or YouTube and just type in Tax Sale Academy, and there you'll come across lots and lots of free training resources. And if you'd like to learn in a much more detailed, organized, and comprehensive step-by-step manner, just head on over to taxsaleacademy.com and become a member of the Academy. Listen, I am so very grateful for the opportunity to serve you and to teach you about this life-changing business. And I'm also very, very hopeful that you found this episode and all the other resources that I have available for you very helpful in your quest for tax sale success. If you found this episode helpful, please take just a few seconds out of your very busy day and leave me a positive review on whatever podcast platform you're listening to us on. It truly makes a difference in our business. Take care and make it a successful day.